In the sleepy town of Derry, Maine, there's a street that even the bravest kids dare not tread come nightfall. Hollow Lane. The houses, though seemingly ordinary, always seem to be cast in shadow, as if the sun itself was afraid to shine too brightly on them. At the very end of this lane stood a house, different from the rest. It belonged to old Mrs. Wren. One chilly autumn evening, a budding journalist named Clara, driven more by the need to prove herself than mere curiosity, decided to uncover the mysteries of Hollow Lane. Rumours had it that every night, as the clock struck midnight, a lullaby would waft through the air, chilling the bones of anyone who heard it. As Clara neared Mrs. Wren's residence, she noticed the peculiar stillness of the place. The windows were obscured by years of grime, and the door creaked ominously in the wind. Gathering her courage, she stepped inside. The dim interior was filled with old, dusty photographs. Each one depicted a child, their eyes seeming to follow her every move. From the depths of the house, a haunting melody began. "Hush now, dearie, the night's begun, where dreams and nightmares become one." Emerging from the shadows was Mrs. Wren, her eyes a cloudy grey, her fingers delicately turning the handle of an ancient music box. "Ah, the curious one," she rasped. "You wish to know about my song?" Clara, her voice trembling, managed to reply, "The town speaks of your lullabies. Why do you sing them?" Mrs. Wren's face twisted into a grimace. "These children," she motioned to the photographs. "They're trapped, you see, lost between worlds. My lullabies are the only thing that keeps the darkness at bay." Clara's instincts screamed at her to run, but she was rooted to the spot. How can they be freed? Mrs. Wren's laughter was like the rustling of dead leaves. "Freedom? Oh, dearie, it comes at a cost." Suddenly the room grew cold, and the music box's tune grew frenzied. Clara felt a weightlessness, a detachment from reality. When her senses returned, she was surrounded by the ghostly figures of children, their whispers like the wind. Welcome to Hollow Lane. In her horror, Clara saw her own reflection in a dusty frame, her eyes devoid of life. As dawn broke, the residents of Derry found Clara's belongings scattered outside Mrs. Wren's house. But of Clara, there was no trace. Only a new photograph on the windowsill, a young woman with lifeless eyes, forever ensnared by the haunting lullaby of Hollow Lane.